Alright folks, we got some chaos here, played by our venerable Naysmith, the aspiring expert. Honestly, I feel like this guy's been performing very good as an initiate recently. Definitely getting a lot better, though I do wonder how the hell have we got a long replay on this map with a Plague Champion versus Tyranids, Lictor Alpha, Korgoth. I don't know who Korgoth is. I assume another newer player. I'd just say that Plague Champion in general, pain in the ass for Tyranids. This map is very favoured for the Plague Champion. Tyranids really like to exploit the fact that they've got the highest speed out of all the factions, and when you have a map where you're just sort of head-on attacking the opponent, I mean all the points being just in a big horizontal line and the bases just being directly vertical to one another, I feel like that favours chaos a lot, where they're standing and trading, especially Nurgle underneath his HP regen worship with all of the buffs that the PC gets. You can't melee spam the PC, which is a good way to beat the Chaos Lord. To be fair, the Chaos Sorcerer is probably even better against Tyranids, but either way, I think on a map like this, the PC should be very, very effective. So the Heretic's going to engage there. This is a fuck up straight away. Very slow to move his Plague Champion away, and again, lets the Lictor get another hit. So now the Lictor can potentially turn around and start going after the Chaos Space Marines. Well, he's getting too low now. Lictor very greedy to try and kill the Plague Champion. I don't think he's going to be able to manage it. Obviously, doesn't have his Flesh Hook. He used that to pull in the Plague Champion. I think once his Lictor Alpha had to retreat from this fight, because he had too low HP, he should have cancelled this feed of tendrils. I don't dislike the play as a sort of in-combat, mid-engagement spike to your damage or your fighting potential, but to get that as a first purchase when your Lictor Alpha is literally retreating to the base seems like a very, very bad idea from Korgoth. Now, Naysmith has got a very weird economy. Firstly, if he doesn't want any aspiring champions, he shouldn't have one gen, unless he's going for Raptors, but Raptors would be very unconventional as a first pick against Tyranids, and honestly quite ill-advised. Yeah, CSM got to back off here. Okay, here we go. We got some aspiring champion coming up. So now that he purchased the aspiring champion, every upgrade that you get, you need to drop another gen. So he needs another gen now. But nice to see the aspiring champion. Kind of unnecessary Doom Blast there. Would have been better to save that for when he got into combat with the Termagants, but doesn't matter. Forces them off anyway because they don't have their toxin sacks, so they can't snare the heretics. And now a little bit of kiting. Focus fire from the Plague Champion, the CSM. Should be able to deal with this Lictor Alpha. Korgoth investing a tremendous amount of resources into his Lictor Alpha here, now going for the Adrenal Glands, which is both his... well, it's not really a tanky melee war gear, but it's like a hybrid tanky melee war gear and a energy economy war gear. So you see it gives him 100 max HP, 1 HP regen, and then improves his max energy and energy regen. Really good energy economy boosts with 2 energy regen. But the tanky melee hero aspect of it is not as good as you'd expect from other tanky melee heroes. But I guess that's fine, he's an assassin, right? His real tanky war gear is actually in tier 2 with the Toxic Cysts, which gives you plus 100 max HP as well, if not more. But you also get the heal over time, which heals you 150 over 15 seconds, I believe, when you activate the Toxic Cysts.
The enemy wishes to deactivate one of our power nodes.
Okay, I see the problem. Naysmith is going double CSM. This is not a good build against Tyranids. I mean, it's so easily shut down by one Bab Strangler, Warrior Brood. Bile Spear as well? Wow, okay. Interesting. Damn. Very weird build from Naysmith. Gonna struggle against the Lictor Alpha, that's for sure. This is the problem. The Lictor can just stay in melee with these ticks and heal loads. Oh, very lucky there from the Heretic Aspiring Champion to get a special immediately. But Lictor's overstaying his welcome here. Really overstaying his welcome. What is he even looking at? He's looking down here at the Hormagaunts getting onto the Gen Farm. Yeah, Naysmith just left his Gen Farm completely exposed because he's got 5 units capping 3 points, which is ridiculous. I mean, at least he's got the Bile Spewer. Okay, now he's getting the Blight Grenade, which he doesn't need. Why get the Blight Grenade? What are you using that on? You've seen that the primary threat that your opponent is invested in is his Lictor Alpha, his hero. That is a single entity. The Blight Grenade won't do anything to that. And then as far as the other units are concerned, you're only fighting one melee, one Hormagaunt. The Blight Grenade is great against Hormagaunts, but you're never going to catch Termagants. They're faster than your shitty, slow Plague Champion. How are you going to get a grenade on them? Maybe if your opponent's bad, but you shouldn't play expecting your opponent to be bad. But wow, look at this play from Korgoth. I actually like this. I like this a lot. He sees that he's losing his own power and he can't really stop it because his units are just out of position. So he just caps Naysmith's power, so he's still got a power income and Naysmith doesn't. Brilliant. A massive macro fuck up there from Naysmith. And this is another mistake. He should not be engaging at all with the default heretics into Adrenal Gland Hormagaunts. Default heretics lose to default Hormagaunts as it is. Never mind default heretics versus upgraded Hormagaunts. Now the Aspiring Champion heretics will be upgraded Hormagaunts. So you either use your default heretics in a big mob, multiple squads of them. For example, the Mucus Discharge Plague Champion and 2 default squads of heretics will easily beat tier 2 Banshees. It's just the power of having so many models, and you don't waste the Doom Blast, you just keep the models for more HP and damage. Otherwise, if you're going to use them in combat, you need the Aspiring Champion. So you should have retreated straight out of that. Anyway, going to be losing the Hormagaunts there, Korgoth, sorry, going to be dropping his micro. I mean, I'm not too sure what he was focusing on there. Maybe looking down here at the power node, I'm not sure. But his Termagants secure this side of the map. I mean, it's bizarre, isn't it, that Korgoth had so much fewer units. Well, 1 fewer unit, but is absolutely dominating the map control. Naysmith throws a Blight Grenade at a Lictor Alpha. Mate, what are you doing? That would do barely any damage even if it hit, and it was very optimistic to think that would hit. In fact, that would hurt you if he then got infected and then walked into melee with the Plague Marines. Not Plague Marines, fucking hell. The Chaos Space Marines. And then infected them. So, just weird players in general. Korgoth hits tier 2 relatively quickly and is going to be going for Gene Stealers. I guess this is fine. I hope he does follow up with the Adrenal Gland Warriors afterwards. Though double Zinchka Space Marines could be problematic for some Adrenal Gland Warriors. We'll have to see. I mean, Gene Stealers will perform pretty damn good here. There's not that much range DPS right now. Bile Spear actually, ironically, could be a problem. You wouldn't expect it usually, but honestly, the relatively high models of the Gene Stealers and the low HP, yeah, the Bile Spear could do something. But the Gene Stealers will handily beat the Heretics if the Heretics are isolated, and they'll also tear apart CSM very quickly. That was a brave decision. Just retreat the Gene Stealers. No, just retreat them. Don't bother. Don't bleed. Ugh. Ah, God. Please free Gene Stealers for no reason. As soon as he got that kill on the Plague Champion, because the Plague Champion was very greedy there, trying to Blight Grenade the Gene Stealers in melee, should have retreated. And that is a useful thing. So, you know, like, if you've seen the Gene Stealers, you could then go for the Blight Grenade. That's fair enough. You've seen how much damage it did, but you shouldn't be throwing it while you're in melee. You know, really, it was quite lucky for Naysmith. The Gene Stealers could have just procced a special and sent him flying. And then it would have cancelled the grenade and wiped him anyway. What you need to be doing is you Doom Blast the enemy first to suppress them, and then you throw the Blight Grenade so they can't dodge it. That play was really poor. And Venom Brood are going to be the choice for Korgoth. I wonder if he's going to go for some Death Spitters. I kind of forgot they existed. That actually would be a pretty good option right now, looking at it. Honestly, would probably be better than the Adrenal Gland Warriors. It doesn't give melee synapse to the Gene Stealers, but you still get the 20% damage resistance from basic synapse, which is pretty cool. And of course, it gives them Inferno weapons, which will help a lot, shooting down the CSM from a distance. And it means they can take advantage of the green cover, you know? Which normally they couldn't. Bloodletters will be the choice for Naysmith. I mean, they will tear apart the Venom Brood pretty effectively, but with double Termagants nearby and Gene Stealers, it definitely can't engage right now. And he generally needs to be very careful about his engagements here, Naysmith, with his Bloodletters. Needs to have them under worship most of the time, which is a good rule in general with your Bloodletters. So let's see how they're going to engage here. I like this Lictor. Picked up the Lone Hunter now, just going to be capping on the side on his own. That's perfect use for him. That's actually a pain in the arse because, honestly, that's going to take like 3 units from Naysmith to deal with. I think Naysmith really needs to get a Dreadnought out. So we're getting a fair bit of damage coming in here from the Death Spitters onto the Bloodletters. Gene Stealers are going to be attempting to counter-initiate. The Worship came down, but it was a little late, so the Bloodletters actually took quite a lot of damage getting in. And you see the Bloodletters are getting wrecked by the Gene Stealers one-on-one. Here comes a Blight Grenade though onto the Venoms. It's going to hurt, but no Synaptic Backlash. If they can just kill one of those Venom Brood models, that could be huge with a Backlash. Needs to retreat. The Backlash is killing Gene Stealers. Oh my god, you've seen that damage spike there in the Gene Stealers when the second model died. Sloppy Micro from Korgoth. Why do I keep wanting to call him Korgoth? It's Korgoth. Second Venom Brood? Really? Oh, I don't know about double Death Spitters, because now he's left himself super vulnerable to a Chaos Dreadnought. Honestly, second Gene Stealers might have been the play. He could obviously have also gone for the Adrenal Gland Warriors. Death Spitters getting a nice kill there on the Warriors. Warriors? What? Chaos Space Marines. Wow, Naysmith completely drops his micro. He's looking over here at the Lictor Alpha ambush on the Bloodletters, who's doing pretty well actually with that Lone Hunter, slaying 2 of the Bloodletters, and just drops a Chaos Space Marine because of it. Lictor Alpha gonna transition back to the mid. I don't like this composition from Naysmith at all. I don't know why he went double CSM, double ticks. I don't think that's a good build against Nids. You can see its scaling's trash. Like, the Heretics don't really do anything in tier 2. They're mostly just worship, utility, and capping. And Naysmith now goes tier 3. Even though he's struggling to win engagements and literally just dropped a CSM squad. And also, he's seen his opponent go for double Death Spitter Venom Brood. So it's like, his opponent here, Tyranids, they're not known for spending a lot in tier 2, but without a doubt, Korgoth has spent a lot in tier 2 here. He's got Gene Stealers and double Death Spitter Venom Brood, and the Lone Hunter upgrade in his Lictor. He's really risking a lot, isn't Naysmith, by going tier 3 here. If he can't defend his gen farm, he might be screwed. He's pushing off Korgoth for now though, no gen bash is attained. So Predator right now would be absolutely amazing. Not the best Predator map though, there's not a lot of open spaces to drive around, and there's a lot of tank traps around to get path blocked by. I don't know why the Plague Champ's getting so close, maybe going for another one of those Blight Grenades. That's a classic noob mistake. No worship for the Bloodletters, just going to get wrecked way too late on the worship. They've took too much damage now. Okay, Gene Stealers are actually taking a lot of damage themselves. The Tyranid ranged forces there needed to swap their fire onto the Termagants. Onto the Termagants, what? Onto the Heretics. Nice flank around cover there by the Tyranid ranged blob. No Zinch Chaos Space Marines. They'd have been great against this double Death Spitters. The bolters on default CSM just aren't going to do anything. Naysmith again going in for a really blatant Blight Grenade. Actually lands it because his opponent is bad. Can't micro. Guess I don't even know what his opponent was looking at, to be honest. Perhaps microing his Lictor Alpha, doing capping on the left, but against a good player, that would never have worked. You'd literally have just sent your Plague Champion in, got forced off and achieved nothing. So I feel like, yes, that play provided massive value for Naysmith actually, because it stopped him from losing a gen or two, but I just want to point out how at higher level that's actually a negative value play compared to letting them bash 2 gens and then sending your PC out next to support the proper fight. Korgoth going for Rending Talons here. He obviously doesn't realise that this is completely redundant. It actually... so it gives you a minor increase to damage, but the increase to damage is so minor that when it swaps you from heavy melee... sorry, from power melee to heavy melee with this upgrade, you actually do less damage to heavy infantry or super heavy infantry with this upgrade. Because power melee has a better modifier than heavy melee against those armor types. There's no vehicles on the field right now, so he really doesn't need this Rending Claw. If there were vehicles, fine, but right now it's literally a downgrade. It will only make you do less damage. You'll do the same against light infantry like heretics, but you'll do less against heavy infantry or super heavy infantry like the Terminators. And Korgoth obviously doesn't know that. He wouldn't be doing this. Heretics snared by their own bile there. I'm not sure about this Bile Spewer. And another Blight Grenade, man. Oh. Korgoth just needs to micro more. When that forward Death Spit of Venom squad got to about 60% HP, should have retreated it. Not letting the backlash trigger like that. There's just no need. Genestealers not having Adrenal Gland Warrior support means they're going to be way too squishy to deal with these Terminators. And now we get the Mark of Tzeentch, so Naysmith really just wanted to rush Terminators, which, okay. We'll see how they fare. There's still a significant lack of AV for both sides, in terms of transitional AV, because obviously they don't have AV, there's no vehicles, why would they have AV? But I mean, there's not even much that they could get if they want it. You know, these guys are locked into the Death Spitters now. You can get the autocannon here on the Terminators, and in fact, he's already going to go for that. But what I'm worried about now for Naysmith is a Thornback Carnifex. You've only got your power melee and your autocannon on your Terminators, which are very soft AV when it comes to dealing with a melee walker. And then it stops them shooting so that the Genestealers can get in and help that Carnifex in melee. That could be problematic. Tzeentch Marine's firing at the wrong target here. They need to be focusing on the Venoms. Got that Plasma Gun on the Aspiring Champion. Can really tear through some Venoms. There we go. Now they're hitting the Venoms. Boom. Instant lost model. Backlash triggered. A lot of pain to the Tyranids. Not a lot of models lost though. And Korgoth going for a power node decap right now, which is not a very good idea. Interestingly, Korgoth pretty much has perfect economy right now, with Naysmith really lacking in power still. A bit of a missed micro as well, he's forgot about his bloody Lictor. God damn it. I don't know what he was doing there. Probably thinking, what do I get to deal with this threat? I mean, at this point, he's took so long in that decision making that he really must get a Swarm Lord. Because he could have had Carnifex rolling out a long time ago. It's alright as well, because he's got a massive VP lead. With over 300 VP still to the 113 of Naysmith, so a lot of time for Korgoth here. He can wait for the Swarm Lord. Just needs a little bit more requisition. Here it comes. Could be good in combination with the Genestealers, that's for sure. I was going to say 1 HP there on the Plague Champion, but looks like the Termagants managed to take him out. Bloodletter's teleporting in, it's going to be brutal here though. In fact, in general, I don't like this engagement for the Nids. Yep, the Genestealers getting shredded now they're out in the open. Getting hit by the Terminators and the Tzeentch Space Marines, and that is going to be a Tyranno formation, but one of the Venom Broods is going to get wiped by the Bloodletters here. The Tyranno formation is a support global. You can see it does a little bit of damage here. But really, it gives you big buffs in an AoE. 50% speed is one of them. So you could use that in combination with Genestealers to hunt down Terminators. That was really a waste of a nuke. I mean, didn't even kill a Chaos Space Marine, never mind Terminator. What a sound victory there for Naysmith. Routed the entire Tyranid army, wiped the Venoms and the Genestealers, didn't even lose a model. Fucking Space Marines there. They just never die. Space Marines and Demons, I guess. Well, he's got a Swarm Lord to contend with, and like I said, there's not much transitional AV. Getting a Last Cannon Havoc would be a no-brainer option. He could wait longer and go for a Mark of Tzeentch Predator. That would be a much stronger counter, given the mobility of such a vehicle, and the fact that the Swarm Lord is only melee and there's no other ranged AV at all in the field right now. But it's going to take a long time to get that, and there's not really that much VPs left in this game. So we'll have to see. He sees the Swarm Lord now. Going to be activating the Leech Life on the Swarm Lord, healing him based on the amount of enemies in proximity. But honestly, I feel like he could have waited for that. Waited till he got into the blob with the Terminators and such. Lictor is, I believe, in the middle of this. Yeah, he is. Just chopping away at the enemy, swapped out to the Corrosive Claws. Debuffing the damage resistance of enemies. And Lictor's going to go to the side VP, I guess. Terminator's rotating. Okay, we've got the Menacing Visage coming up on the Lictor. Can instantly force a unit to retreat with that. That was terrible. Attempts a Flurry of Blades, I believe it's called. Huge AoE damage around the Swarm Lord, but only hits a couple of models. Really could have done with saving that energy for another life leech. Terminators look like they're going to be taking a melee engagement there with the Swarm Lord, which seems a bit dubious. I think the Heretics there retreated a little bit early. They got into melee without much damage, so I'm sure they could have been fine. Calls down a Noxious Cloud, but Korgoth does actually see it. He's going to be pulling back his Swarm Lord to the base to heal up. I mean, it's just such a shame he lost the Genestealers. If he had Genestealers now with the Swarm Lord, you know, they can reinforce off the Swarm Lord. And they get a speed buff too. That'd be pretty beautiful. But he lost them at a really bad time. He should have just retreated out of that engagement over there where he lost the Death Spitter straight away. I mean, there was no way he was going to win that fight. Well, it's going to be a Predator. Of course, Naysmith did save up for a while here without getting a proper counter to the Swarm Lord. Wow, Korgoth feeling the pressure, going to be sending out his Swarm Lord already. It's nowhere near full HP. He is, of course, below 100 VPs at this point. So the pressure is on. I was going to say another thing that he could be getting here is he could be spawning in some Rippers. Tie up the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines so, you know, your warriors can get in and do a bit more damage. That was a nice Blade Flurry. Kills every single heretic here except from the Aspiring Champion and brings him down to very low HP. But ultimately, I don't think it's important killing heretics right now. He needs durability on his Swarm Lord, and the Swarm Lord needs to be tying up the Terminators. They're the only AV on the field right now. So why he's letting the Terminators just shoot with the autocannon against the Swarm Lord, I'm not really sure. And here comes a Predator tank, which I think Well, I'm saying I think it will seal the deal, but I'm not even sure it will. There is enough resources. I was going to say there's enough resources for a Carnifex. Could get a Formback Carnifex, but going to be a Venom Brood apparently. I think what I would do here is I'd be going for a Carnifex. I'd give it the Formback upgrade. Because remember, the Swarm Lord does buff the speed of Carnifex too. And then I'd use my Global with a Lictor to drop in a Venom Brood squad. So then I get the best of both worlds. With the 2 vehicle armor walkers, you can really bully the Terminators in melee. With a speed buff on your Carnifex from the Swarm Lord, it should be able to catch up to the Predator a few times. Formback Carnifex can spawn in Rippers to tie up the Zinchka Space Marines. And then your Venom Brood are free to fire without suffering from the Plasma and Inferno bolts. And just zone out the Predator. Lictor goes off the side and side caps. And Termagant's just, you know, focus fire Heretics and Plague Champion. I think it's definitely potential here for Korgoth. Terminators, for some reason, sent on their own to the side. I don't like that macro decision from Naysmith. Right now, Predator taking a lot of damage from the Venom Brood here, but they are getting shot to pieces by the Zinchka Space Marines. Fortunately for Korgoth, only 2. No, there are actually 3 Space Marines here. I don't know why Naysmith sent his Terminators off to side cap. Why would you not send your Bloodletters? Don't know. So it looks like the Swarm Lord's going to get out of there alive. Bloodletters are going to jump on top of the Venom Brood. Ooh! Just forced off there by the Menacing Visage right in time. Literally about to wipe the Venom Brood they were. But not going to be able to cap with the Death Spitters. Needs to retreat them. I believe the Lictor can take over the cap. Oh, retreats them both. Lictor honestly could have just been meleeing those Chaos Space Marines. Korgoth royally screwing up his endgame here, and he's really low on VPs. I think he's going to lose because of the VPs. I think if he got a Carnifex there, went Formback, and then dropped in the Venom Brood with the Global, he could have done that, for sure. Yeah, he surrenders. He can't win at this point. It's going to take too long to heal up the Swarm Lord. There's not enough VPs. An interesting one. I think a lot of flukes there, clearly by Korgoth, like capping the gens early on. Not really like a conscious macro decision, just something he did in the moment, and it ended up working out beautifully. But Naysmith let him do that by moving all of his units away. A very interesting game. I do hope that these players watch this replay and can take heed of some of the advice. I think it would help their gameplay quite a lot. Odd build orders and odd macro decisions definitely hurting their gameplay. Because, you know, micro, the only way you can improve micro is by playing more, right? It doesn't matter how many YouTube videos you're going to watch, other than like learning tricks like combos and hotkeys and stuff like that. You improve your micro by playing, but your macro, you can learn shit from a YouTube video in regards to your macro. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, folks. It's going to be all from your boy Torpid this time. Signing out.